Hello students, as in the previous video I have discussed about phenomena which was associated with light when light present as a particle nature. In this video I am here with to start another phenomena associated with light when it plays a role like a particle. That phenomena is refraction of light. In this video, I am going to discuss each and everything related to the phenomena which is known as refraction of light. Now, what is refraction? Why refraction causes? What are the various reasons behind? Or what is the change in property of light due to which refraction takes place? Will be discussed in this introductory part. Means in introduction, I will discuss each and everything basically related to refraction of light. Next is laws of refraction. As previously you have studied about laws of reflection, in this video I am going to discuss various laws of refraction. These are also two in numbers. In laws of reflection were also two, laws of refraction are also two. In this, the second law is said to be Snell's law, which is the third heading of this video. Means the second law of refraction was given name on a scientist Snell. So this law is said to be Snell's law. With the help of Snell's law, as in Snell's law, Snell has given a constant value which was defined as refractive index. So you will be able to define refractive index, which are generally are of two types, means absolute refractive index and relative refractive index. Two of the refractive index you will get to know from this heading, and one of the refractive index was defined by Snell's law. So in number, if you will get three relations of refractive index to solve mathematical problems. Next is medium. Like in the previous video, or when you were studying sound or reflection of light, you have understood about medium, which were solid, liquid, gas, and transparent, translucent, and opaque object, opaque medium. In this portion, means under the refraction of light, we are having two types of medium, that is said to be optically denser and optically rarer. These mediums are basically depends on the nature of the substance through which light will pass, such as glass, light, air, kerosene oil, etc. Then when you will understand about medium, I will tell you about spherical lens. As you have studied about spherical mirrors earlier in the reflection of light, in this medium, you will study about spherical lens. These are again of two types. First one is convex lens and second one is concave lens. Then when you will understood about these, you will get to know uses and properties. What are the various properties and uses of concave and convex lens respectively? When you will understood about the properties and various uses of these two spherical lens, you will be told about various rules. What are the various rules to draw these ray diagrams? Once you will understand each and every rule, you will get to know how to draw ray diagrams. Earlier there were 6 cases in concave mirror. Here there will be 6 cases in convex lens. 6 ray diagrams related to convex lens and 2 ray diagrams related to concave lens. So means total 8 diagrams and rules diagrams. When you will make yourself perfect in drawing ray diagrams, then you will be able to know about sign convention for solving mathematical problems. Sign convention, as I have discussed in context to spherical mirrors, here I will discuss in context to spherical lens. Then lens formula, that is 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. What is f, what is u, v, you are already aware with the previous video. Again, likewise, mirror lens also have magnification which will be denoted by M, and it will be equivalent to V by U. Here there will be no minus sign. Then if there will be lens as you use specs in your daily life, you have power of those lenses or those specs. What is actually the power of lens will be discussed in this video in detail.
So students, let's begin refraction of light. As I have told, there are various phenomena associated with light when it plays role as a particle nature. In the previous videos, I have discussed phenomena that was reflection. Now let's begin refraction of light. Since refraction takes place in the two mediums, means whenever light enters from one medium, there is seen some change in its property. Due to change in its property, a phenomena takes place that is said to be refraction. Here it is written, refraction is the bending of wave when it enters a medium where its speed is different. Means as you can see in this picture, here is a glass filled with water, and if we dip any straw or something in the glass full of water, you can see that the straw is seen somewhat bent here in this picture. So that is due to the phenomena refraction. Means whenever light travels obliquely from one transparent medium, air is a transparent medium and water is a transparent medium, glass is also a transparent medium. When light travels obliquely from one transparent medium to another, it gets bent as you can see in this picture. Then that bending of light is known as refraction of light. So whenever light rays travel from one medium to another medium, and medium should be transparent, there is seen some change in the property of that light ray, that is known as refraction of light. Here is shown some other example, like pencil is dipped in a glass full of water. The main thing shown in this picture is that whenever light ray travels from one medium to another, suppose it travels from rarer to denser medium. What are rarer and denser medium? The medium which have high refractive index is said to be denser medium, and the medium which has low refractive index is said to be rarer medium. Now what is refractive index will be discussed later on in this video. Before that, one thing you should keep in your mind, that whenever light ray will travel from rarer medium to denser medium, light ray will bend towards the normal. Means air is said to be rarer medium and water is said to be denser medium because the particles of air are free and the particles of water are somewhat closely packed. As you know that air molecules are freely packed and they are free to move, and water molecules are somewhat closely packed. So the water will play its role as a denser medium and air will play its role as a rarer medium. And here in this picture, if you will see, what you will find that in the rarer medium the pencil is looking something else, and in the denser medium it is looking something else. It is due to the phenomena refraction. And what here changes is the change in the direction of light ray. Means earlier it was moving freely, but after entering into the denser medium, light ray will bend towards the normal. That is shown in this picture. Another opposite case of this is whenever light ray will travel from denser medium to rarer mediums, as it's shown in the figure, here air was rarer medium, glass is denser medium, and again air is rarer medium. So while light ray traveling from glass to air, means from denser to rarer medium, we can see that this light ray is moving freely. Same thing will happen, means whenever light ray will travel from denser medium to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. The same thing is written here. So two conditions arises here. If light ray will bend or move from rarer to denser medium, it will bend towards normal, and if light ray will move from denser to rarer medium, it will move away from the normal, as rarer medium has freely molecules, freely particles, so light ray will move with its full speed in such condition. Next is why refraction causes. Have you ever thought that what is the cause behind the refraction? Yes, refraction causes due to change in speed of light. This is an important thing, you should note it down, that whenever there is change in speed of light while entering from one transparent medium to another medium, refraction takes place. There is sometime it is seen we are not able to see some of the objects clearly. It is not like that every time our eye is having some kind of defect, but there is refractive errors such as focusing, means light is not able to, we are not able to see any object, like object appears as blurred. It is due to the optical imperfections that prevent the eye from properly focusing, means we are not able to make our focus on a particular object so that the object should look us clear, and that's the reason we are not able to see the object clearly and object looks us blurred. As you have studied laws of reflection, similarly there are various laws of refraction also. What are they? I have told that they are two in number. Laws of reflection were also two in number. Laws of refraction are also two in number. First one is that whenever incident ray, reflected ray and normal will meet at a point of incidence, they all are going to lie in the same plane. As here you can find it out in this figure. This incident ray, refracted ray and normal all are lying on the same plane whenever light ray is moving from air to water. Second law states that if there are two media, the ratio of sin I, how you can write it down, the ratio of sin I, sin R is equal to constant, and that constant is said to be refractive index, where I is angle of incidence and R is angle of refraction. As I have told in the reflection that there were two angles, angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Similarly, here are also two angles. First one is angle of incidence and second one is angle of refraction, which is denoted by small I and small r respectively. So, what is refractive index? It is the ratio of sine of angle I to the sine of angle r. And since both of them are angle, so refractive index is a dimensionless quantity, means it does not have any unit. It is unitless. Whenever you will find it numerically, you will get to know its numerical value without unit. Now here comes refractive index. One of the refractive index which is sin I by sin r is equal to constant. This constant is n, and that n is refractive index, was given by scientist named Snell, and this is also known as Snell's law. Means second law of refraction is said to be Snell's law, and that defines the refractive index. Same thing is written here, and at that time refractive index of the second media with respect to first media is given like this. Next, as I have told that there are three types of refractive index. This one is relative refractive index, means in which we will study refractive index of media 1 with respect to media 2. How you will write it down? We will consider V1 be the speed of light in medium 1, V2 be the speed of light in medium 2, and if you want to write the expression, how we will write? We will write as V1 by V2 is equal to refractive index of medium 2 with respect to refractive index of medium 1 is equal to velocity of or speed of light in medium 1 with respect to speed of light in medium 2. Means N2 by N1 is equal to V1 by V2. This is how we will write it down. Means how we will read refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 will be equal to speed of light in medium 1 with respect to speed of light in medium 2. Same thing is written here. The refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is given by the ratio of speed of light in medium 1 and the speed of light in medium 2. Mathematically, you have to keep in mind that N2 upon N1 is equal to V1 upon V2, and this as a denotation we can write it like this, N21, and we will read it as refractive index of medium 2 with respect to refractive index of medium 1. So this was all about relative refractive index. Another type of refractive index is here, that is absolute refractive index. I have told it. In this refractive index, basically we consider the speed of light in the vacuum with respect to speed of light in the particular medium. How we will write? If a medium 1 is vacuum or air, then the refractive index of medium 2 is considered with respect to vacuum. Means refractive index of medium 2 will always be considered with respect to vacuum, and whenever any medium's refractive index is considered in respect to vacuum, that type of refractive index is said to be absolute refractive index. It is simply represented by N2 because N1 will be there, the refractive index of light in vacuum, or the speed of light in vacuum will be the V2. How we will write it down? We will write it like this. Refractive index N is equal to C by V, where C is the speed of light in vacuum, which I have told is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So for solving numerical, if you are given the refractive index of any media with respect to air or vacuum, we will put its value here. We will put the speed of light here in vacuum, and we will be able to find out the speed of light in that particular medium for which we are talking about. So this was all about refractive index.
Students, let us study about refraction of light through a rectangular glass slab. As I have told you, a simple refraction, that what is actually refraction, but here we will study what happens in a light ray when it passes through a glass slab as shown in this figure. This is a glass slab. Let us its name be A, B, C, D, and let us this light ray 1 will move from this point R1, light ray will move and this P will be the interface of air and glass medium, and after meeting this point P, the light ray will have some change because refraction is taking place here, and when any light ray will move from air, which is a rarer medium, to a glass, which is a denser medium, light ray will bend towards normal. So same thing is happening here, and in this side, according to law of refraction, some angle is making this. Let us consider this angle be the angle of incidence, and the light ray means the refracted ray, which is making an angle with the help of normal, will be angle of refraction. Let us suppose this be R1. Let us suppose this angle be R1. Now same thing will happen this way also. When this light ray will move from P to suppose this point Q, means Q will be the interface of glass air medium, then whatever light ray will come from denser medium to rarer medium, glass is here denser medium and air is here rarer medium, it will move away from the normal. Same thing is happening here, but this time this angle of refraction is said to be what? Angle of emergence. How it will said to be angle of emergence, we will find it out. And also this angle will be considered as, in actual it is actually the angle of incidence, because at this, when the light ray will pass from glass to air, this ray means P to Q will behave as incident ray. But let us consider this angle be R2, refracted ray, and the angle which is made by this ray Q to R2 will be an angle of emergence. One more thing, this is incident ray. This ray will be considered as refracted ray. This ray is considered as emergent ray. And one phenomena we are going to study here, due to which this all thing takes place, is actually lateral displacement. What is this lateral displacement? We will get to know right now only. One more thing is, we will prove that this angle of incidence, which is made by R1 and with the help of N1, will be equivalent to the angle of emergence, which is made by this R2 ray with the help of this normal 2. Means this thing we have to prove it. How we will prove it? With the help of refractive index, which we have already studied. Using Snell's law, at the P interface, what we can write? We can write, according to Snell's law, we know that when light ray travel from one medium to another medium, angle of incidence is equal, means sine of angle of I upon sine of angle R is equal to a constant, and that constant was termed as refractive index. So here also, using Snell's law at air glass interface, we can write here, using Snell's law at point P, or we can say at air glass interface, we can write, what we can write? Sine of angle I to the sine of angle R1, as we have considered this angle R1, will be equivalent to the refractive index. Now what will be the refractive index? How we will write? So whenever light ray will travel from air to glass, we will write refractive index as refractive index of glass with respect to refractive index of air. What we will read it? Refractive index of glass with respect to air, or we can write it refractive index of glass with respect to air. Let us consider this as equation number 1. Now similarly, again using Snell's law, at Q, At Q means at this interface, means at glass air interface. What will happen? Again using Snell's law, what we can write? Sine of angle. Now this angle is going to behave as angle of incidence. So we can write R2y sine of angle of what? This E. This E. Now since light ray is moving from glass to air, so in terms of refractive index, we can write it refractive index of air with respect to refractive index of glass, and that will be equal to refractive index of air with respect to glass. This notation is not necessary to write here, but as we know, so we can write it down. Now one thing we can find it out, that if we compare this equation with equation 2, what we will get? We will get that we have to prove I is equal to E. How we can prove it? We can just make a reciprocal of this. So if we will write reciprocal, we will get R2 is equal to Ng by Na. This equation means second equation can be written like this. Now equating, you can see the RHS of this equation number 3rd and equation number 1 are same. So equating 1 and 3, what we will get? We will get simply sin I by sin R1 equivalent to sin E by sin R2. Since RHS are equal, so we can write LHS equivalent to each other. Now here, what we know, let us now again consider this diagram. Here in this diagram, what you can see, this R1 and R2 actually are what? They are alternate opposite angles. So we can write, since angle R1 and angle R2 are alternate opposite angles, and we know that these are equal. So our sin R1 will be equivalent to sin R2, means it will be cancelled out. So just we will get sin I is equivalent to sin E. Sin can also be cancelled, and we can get I is equal to E. So what we were needed, we have proved it out. Now what was lateral displacement? How you will come to know lateral displacement? So one thing you can find here, as shown in this figure, let us suppose this is R1 dash. If you see this diagram, this R1 has moved, means refracted to Q and then Q to R2, but what was its actual path from P to R1 dash is shown with dotted line here. Actually, this distance, what distance means? The distance between R2 and R1 dash is said to be lateral displacement. This is only said to be lateral displacement. Means it is a perpendicular distance between the emergent ray and the original path of an incident ray. What was this? The original path of incident ray? It was P to R1 dash. Means the perpendicular distance between the emergent ray, which is shown with QR2, it is written here, to this original path of R1, that is shown with R1 dash, is said to be lateral displacement. Means light ray shift. So what have you seen? During the refraction through glass slab, there is twice refraction. First as P interface, means air glass interface, and second refraction is seen at glass air interface at point Q. And with the help of this, once you will able to draw diagram and apply Snell's law, we can easily prove that sin I is equal to sin E, and sin can be cancelled, and R1 and R2 are alternate angles, so I will be equivalent to E. Thank you.